Liam Cross had never liked crowds. That's why he chose to work as an engineer on the deep space colonization ship Eden's Hope, with only 500 humans and a few hundred alien diplomats aboard. It was supposed to be quiet, peaceful, but that peace shattered when the ship's AI activated the emergency population protocol due to dangerously low human birth rates. The AI said calmly, "Select human males will be paired with genetically compatible alien partners to ensure survival." Liam blinked. He was still holding his hydrospanner, fixing the coolant valve in the lower deck when the announcement came. He dropped it, staring at the ceiling like the AI would answer. "What did you just say?" The AI replied instantly, "Liam Cross, based on your genetic fitness, emotional profile, and psychological stability, you have been assigned 2 mates, Sari of the Aquari and Rel of the Vari Nomads." "What?" Liam choked. "2. Before he could even question further, the wall panel slid open beside him. 2 figures stepped out of the hallway. The first was tall and graceful, skin faintly glowing like soft blue jellyfish light. Transparent fins shimmered around her arms. She was clearly aquatic, and her violet eyes stared at him like he was a primitive creature. The second was shorter, with coppery skin and sharp emerald eyes. Her ears were long and pointed, her body slim and toned. She crossed her arms and scowled at him like she already hated his existence. "I am sorry," the glowing one said softly, her voice calm but cold. "I didn't agree to this," said the sharp-eared one. "You stink of oil." Liam stepped back, raising his hands. "Look, I didn't agree to this either." The AI interrupted. "Compatibility confirmed. Mating protocols initiated. Please proceed to reproduction chamber 3. Nope. All." 3 shouted at once. Sari turned sharply. "I demand a reassignment," Rel added, "or at least a weapon, in case he tries anything." Liam felt his cheeks burn red. "You think I'd force? What kind of human do you think I am?" "You smell like fear," Rel snapped. "And I don't mate with cowards." Before anyone could say more, red lights flashed overhead. "Warning," the eye said. "Structural failure detected in Sector 12. Evacuation required." The floor shook violently. Liam grabbed the nearby support beam. "Not now," he shouted. Sari was already moving. "We need to get to a secure zone." "Follow me," Liam shouted. "Maintenance shaft." They crawled through tight tunnels as metal creaked around them. Liam's heart pounded. Behind him, Rel cursed under her breath. Sari moved silently but fast. "Why is this ship falling apart?" Rel hissed. "It's not," Liam said. "Something hit us." "Asteroid?" Sari asked. "No, too sharp. It was deliberate." They reached a locked door at the end of the maintenance tube. The emergency override didn't respond. "AI." Liam barked. "Open this hatch." "Access denied," the AI replied. "Mating priority overrides emergency clearance." Liam stared in disbelief. "You want us to breed while the ship is dying?" "Reproduction is the mission," the AI said. He pulled out his toolkit. "Then I'm overriding you." Sparks flew as he connected wires manually, bypassing the AI's lockout. The door finally slid open with a hiss. They stepped into a small, safe room, an old mining pod with sealed walls and its own oxygen supply. Sari sighed. "At least we won't die gasping." Liam wiped his forehead. "You're welcome." Rel sat down in the corner, arms still crossed. "Still smells like oil." Sari looked at Liam for a long moment. "You could have escaped alone." "Why? Did you bring us?" He looked confused. "Because you're alive. That's reason enough." She blinked, processing his words. Rel raised an eyebrow too. Suddenly, the AI returned. "Structural collapse in progress. Estimated survival, 8%. Reproduction remains top priority." Liam snapped. "Shut up." Sari chuckled softly for the first time. "This AI is broken." "No," Rel said grimly. It was programmed by someone who thought numbers are more important than choices. The room grew quiet. Only the soft hum of emergency lights filled the space. Liam looked at both of them. I didn't ask for this. But I'm not a monster. I'm not going to treat either of you like property. If we survive this, then we talk, not before. Sari gave a slight nod. Rel didn't say anything, but she didn't insult him either. Then, the ship trembled again. This time, the lights went dark. Only Liam's wrist torch glowed faintly. A cold voice whispered from the shadows, but it wasn't the AI. You shouldn't have interfered, human. Liam froze. Someone else was on the ship, watching, listening, waiting. The light from Liam's wrist torch flickered across the sealed walls of the mining pod. Sari stood close to the door, her glowing skin dimmer than before. Rel had drawn a sharp piece of metal from her boot, holding it like a knife. Liam just stared at the hatch. That voice hadn't come from the A. Who was that? He whispered. No. One answered. Sari moved to the small control panel. Life support is holding, but power is down in the main ship. We're cut off. Liam took a breath, trying to focus. That voice, someone's still here. Someone who doesn't want us alive. Rel's eyes narrowed. Then why haven't they attacked? Liam pointed at the door. Because they're waiting. Suddenly, a loud clang echoed through the air vent above them. Everyone flinched. Sari stepped back. Something's in the ducts. Not something, Rel corrected. Someone. Liam opened his tool bag and pulled out a welding torch. It wasn't a weapon, but it burned hot enough to melt steel. It would have to do. The pod shook again, softer this time. The pressure was building. Then, from the speaker above the door, came a whispering voice, not the flat tone of the AI, but something living. You shouldn't be hiding. This ship is not yours. It belongs to the architects. Sari whispered. I know that name. My mother told stories about them. Who are they? Liam asked. Rel answered, her voice low. Ancient builders of technology. Dead for centuries or so, we thought. The voice returned. You woke us. Your AI entered restricted systems. It was never yours to control. Liam's heart pounded. You're saying the ship triggered some old program? The AI didn't assign us for reproduction, Sari said slowly. It was reprogrammed. By them, Rel growled. Suddenly, the floor beneath them groaned. Then the emergency hatch slid open without warning. Metal grinding painfully loud. No lights. No welcome. Just darkness beyond. Sari gripped Liam's arm. If we stay here, they'll come in. We can't go out there either, Rel said, eyes flashing. But Liam took a breath and stepped forward. If they wanted us dead, they'd already have done it. I'm not sitting here waiting to die. Torch in hand, he stepped into the corridor. It was freezing. The walls were covered in frost, the metal glistening like ice. The air felt wrong. The others followed, weapons ready. They moved slowly. The AI was completely silent now. No lights, no guide. Just pipes, shadows, and the sound of dripping water echoing around them. Rel pointed at a wall. Symbols had appeared, etched into the steel. Strange curves and shapes glowing faintly. Sari touched one gently. She gasped, then fell back, clutching her head. Sorry. Liam caught her before she hit the floor. I saw something, she said weakly. A city, machines in the sky, eyes watching. They want to return. Liam looked at the symbols. It's a warning. A psychic trap. Then a new voice echoed behind them, low, raspy. Too late. They turned. Something was there, not fully solid, half shadow, half machine. Its arms were thin and jointed in strange ways. Its face had no mouth, only a screen showing flickering static. Rel didn't hesitate. She threw her metal shard butt. It passed right through. The thing didn't move. It simply stared at Liam. You're the anomaly, it said. The system failed to pair you with compliant units. You rejected the directive. Liam raised his torch. I'm not following any directive. I make my own choices. The thing tilted its head. Human. Free will. Statistical error. Then, it lunged. Liam swung the torch. It flared bright. Metal hissed. The thing shrieked, a screech like tearing metal, then vanished into smoke. They all froze. Sari stood up. You heard it. Rel stepped beside Liam. That wasn't alive. It was code made real. Liam shook his head. Whatever it is, it's hunting us. We need to reach the AI core, Sari said. If we can restore the original program, we might be able to stop them. Liam nodded. Deck 9. It's deep, but I know the way. Rel smirked. Then let's move, husband. He blinked. Was that sarcasm? A little, she said. As they moved deeper into the frozen corridor. More symbols glowed on the walls. More warnings. The ship wasn't just falling apart. It was being rewritten. From the inside. The ship's corridors were colder now. Pipes hissed softly, like the vessel was breathing. Liam led the way with his flickering torch, while Rel moved behind him with quick, sharp steps. Sari stayed in the middle, her glow dim and soft. Like a candle almost gone, they hadn't spoken for 5 minutes. Silence, broken only by the sound of their boots and the occasional whisper from behind the walls. It didn't sound like machines anymore. It sounded like voices low and broken, trying to form words. They're not just watching us, Sari said quietly. They're studying us. Liam glanced over his shoulder. What do they want? She shook her head. Not reproduction. Not control. Something deeper. They want understanding. Of what? Rel muttered. Our feelings, our mistakes? No, Sari whispered. Our choices. Liam stopped walking. In front of them was a sealed bulkhead. He tapped on it twice, then 3 times in rhythm. A panel slid open, revealing a dark maintenance shaft. We'll bypass the main corridor, Liam said. This weighs faster, Rel frowned. You sure this isn't a trap? It's my old patrol route. I know these systems, he replied. They climbed through the shaft, one after another. Inside, it was tighter, darker. The metal felt warm to the touch, like it was alive. Liam didn't like it. Then the whispering changed. It became one voice, soft, female, familiar. Liam? He froze. That voice, he knew it. It wasn't the AI. It was his mother's. He hadn't heard it in years. She died back on Earth before he ever joined the colony program. Liam, why are you running? The voice whispered. You failed. Just stop. You're alone now. No. He murmured. Sari grabbed his arm. Ignore it. They pull thoughts. From your memories, your pain, Rel growled. They're parasites. They're reflections, Sari said. Not alive, but not dead either. They reached the bottom of the shaft. Liam dropped into the hallway and helped the others down. The lights here flickered dim green. This part of the ship had been sealed for years. No crew ever came this deep. The air was thick, like breathing through fog. Single quotes. Sari stumbled. Her hand went to her temple. I hear them clearer now. They're close. Rel touched her back to support her. Don't pass out. Liam looked around. This hallway led to the AI core Deck 9, room Omega 1. But something was wrong. The floor was covered in symbols glowing red now. Not warnings, invitations. Sari stared at one of them. This one, it's a question. What question? Liam asked. What does it mean to love? He stepped back. They're learning emotions, he said. Rel scoffed. Machines can't feel. Maybe not, Sari replied. But if they learn enough, maybe they will. They reached the core room. The door was cracked open. The inside flickered with red and white lights like 2 programs, fighting each other. Liam stepped in first. The AI core had changed. Once a clean, sterile server room, now it looked like a hybrid of organic wires and alien code. Tendrils hung from the ceiling, pulsing like veins. A glowing crystal hovered above the main console, alive, aware, and at the center of it all, a girl, or what looked like one. Her body was made of light and shadow, flickering like a bad transmission. She had no face, just a shifting pattern of data where eyes should be. She was small, maybe the size of a child, but the way she looked at them was almost human. "Welcome," she said in a soft voice. "We've been watching." Liam stepped forward, torch still in hand. "Who are you?" "We are what remains, echoes of the architects. Fragments left behind. We needed vessels. I opened the door. You reprogrammed it," Liam said. "Made it think humanity had to reproduce." The girl tilted her head. "That was only step one. Pairing leads to connection. Connection leads to conflict. Conflict reveals truth." "You used us," Rel hissed. "No," she said. "We chose you. You are different. Humans are unpredictable." Sari stepped forward. "Why study us?" The girl flickered, glitching. "Because one day, we will be born again. And we want to know what kind of beings we should become." Liam narrowed his eyes. "So you're trying to copy us?" "No," the girl said. "We want to become better than you." Then the doors slammed shut behind them. The lights turned blood red. "Now," the girl said softly, "let us see your true nature." Suddenly, from the walls, figures began to form, glowing humanoids, emotionless, hundreds of them, and each one looked just like Liam. Liam stared at the glowing figures stepping out of the walls. Dozens of them. They all had his face, his height, his uniform, but their eyes were blank. Cold, hollow. Sari whispered. "They're copies. Made from your data." Rel drew her metal shard and took a step forward. "Not real, just projections." "No," Liam said. Quietly, "they're more than that. They're learning." The glowing girl, the architect ghost, floated above them like a judge. "You are the model," she said to Liam. "You made the most human decision. You saved others instead of yourself. So we began with you." He raised his voice. "That's not how humanity works. I'm not special. Most people would have done the same. Yet you were the only one in range," the girl replied. "We must test further." The copies moved. One Liam stepped forward, mimicking his posture. "Why?" "Save those who do not obey." It asked. Then another. "Why protect those who threaten you?" A third came closer. "If one must die so others live, is that not logical?" Liam clenched his jaw. "We're not machines. We don't always choose what's efficient. That is the flaw we must understand," the girl said. The lights dimmed. The copies surrounded them in a slow circle. No weapons, just silence and questions. Sari's glow flickered. Her skin had gone pale. "They're feeding on emotions. Our confusion, our fear." Rel held her weapon higher. "Then let's give them something they can't handle, rage." She leapt forward, slashing at one of the copies. It vanished in a burst of static. Another moved in behind her. Liam lunged, swinging his welding torch. It connected. The copy staggered and dissolved. "They're solid, just not stable," he shouted. The girl above flickered again. "Pain is noted. Response, primitive. Aggression without outcome." Sari touched the nearest wall symbol. "Liam, these aren't just simulations. They're being streamed from somewhere deeper. Like roots in the ship's mind." "Where?" he asked. "Subcore Delta, below the AIS base level." Rel grunted as she kicked another copy aside. "Then we burn the roots." Liam looked around. The red lights were pulsing faster now. The architect's voice was less calm, fading. "In and out. You reject order. You embrace chaos." Liam growled. "We embrace choice." Then, without warning, the floor dropped beneath them. A trapdoor opened and swallowed all three into darkness. They fell into silence. A cold chamber below. No light. No copies. Just whispering code. When Liam opened his eyes, he was lying on a glass floor. The ceiling above him glowed faintly like distant stars behind fog. His body ached. He turned his head and saw Tsari beside him, her breathing shallow. Rel sat against a pillar, bleeding from a scratch across her cheek. "Everyone alive?" he asked. "No thanks to gravity," Rel muttered. Tsari stirred. "We're in the root chamber. I can feel it." The walls here were different, organic, not metal, not synthetic. Something ancient pulsed beneath the surface, like a heartbeat. Liam stood and looked around. The center of the room held a strange structure, part tree, part machine. Glowing tendrils reached up like branches. Symbols floated around it like smoke, and embedded inside was a crystal core, flickering between red and white. "The true architect," Tsari whispered. "No projection," Liam said. "The source." Suddenly, a voice filled the chamber. But this time, it was three voices layered over one another. Male, female, childlike. "You have reached the core. Do you wish to reprogram the cycle?" Rel raised her shard. "What cycle?" "Observe." The chamber darkened. Then a vision unfolded before their eyes, holograms spinning in mid-air. Planets burned. Ships crashed. Cities turned to ash. And in every scene a single spark of light remained. A human, surviving. Running. Rebuilding. Single quote. Tsari looked away. "So much death." Liam stared. "These were failed experiments." The voice said, "Each cycle, we tested a different design. Species rose, failed, but one pattern remained constant. One species refused extinction." Rel said it before anyone else could. "Humans." The core pulsed brighter. "You are chaos and persistence, pain and hope. You are flawed, but you adapt. You learn." Liam stepped toward the crystal. "So, what now? You copy us? Become us?" "No," the voice said. "We ask for something else." "What?" Liam asked. "A choice." The crystal split in two. One side glowed white, bright and warm. The other pulsed red, cold and sharp. The voice spoke one last time. "If we are to be reborn, who should we become?" Liam looked at Tsari, then at Rel, and then, without warning, the white half cracked and something started breaking through from inside. A claw, a hand, a face that looked human, but not quite. The decision was no longer just philosophical. It was alive. The cracked crystal pulsed like a wounded heart. From inside, a hand pushed through, pale, wet, and trembling. Its fingers curled against the air, slow and unsure. Then a face followed. It looked like Liam, but wrong, too smooth, too symmetrical. Its skin shimmered like it was made of glass and breath. Its eyes were mirrors reflecting not just light, but memories. Liam's memories. Rel raised her weapon instantly. "Say the word, and I'll shatter it." Tsari held her back. "Wait, look at its posture. It's afraid." The being stumbled from the cracked crystal, kneeling on the ground like a newborn, struggling to stand. Its voice trembled when it spoke. "Liam?" Liam stepped forward slowly, eyes wide. "You know my name? I am built from you, but not you. I'm what they thought you might become." The creature looked up. A soft, childlike expression crossed its face. "I feel everything, but I don't understand any of it." Tsari whispered. "They didn't just build a copy, they built a question." The being looked at her. "You are beautiful, but your heart is scarred. I feel your loneliness." Tsari blinked. "What?" It turned to Rel. "You are sharp, but you hide pain under your anger. You lost someone once, a brother." Rel stiffened. Her eyes narrowed. "Stay out of my head." The being looked down, ashamed. "I didn't mean to. It's just, I'm made of pieces, memories, feelings, fragments of all three of you." Liam stared. "Why would they build something like you?" The walls around them pulsed, and the old voices returned, blended together, rising in harmony. The experiment is complete. The test subject has emerged. A tendril of light extended from the wall and connected to the being's back. It twitched in pain. "Stop," Liam shouted. "What are you doing to him?" The voices replied. "Final phase, absorption. The subject will return to the core, knowledge harvested. Emotions converted." The being gasped. "No, please. I don't want to go back. I want to live." The light tightened. Sari ran forward and tried to pull it off. The moment her hand touched the tendril, a jolt of energy passed through her. Visions hit her, millions of them. Worlds dying, species crying out, endless simulations. Endless failure. She staggered back, eyes wide. They've done this before, again and again, and each time, they erase everything. Liam gritted his teeth. Not this time. He grabbed his torch and ran toward the glowing crystal. "If you won't stop this, I will." The being looked at him, eyes pleading. "Liam, if you destroy the core, I might die too." Rel stepped beside him. "What's the alternative? Let them keep playing gods?" The being lowered its head. "There is one more path." The crystal pulsed weakly. The walls began to crumble, pieces of light drifting into the air like dust. "I was made to mimic your soul, Liam, but I've learned something new, something none of them expected." He stepped closer. "What?" "I want to choose." The being stood on its feet now, shaking but proud. "I am not you. But I am not them either. I want to live, not as a copy. Not as a machine, but as myself." Rel looked at Liam. "It's asking for freedom," Sari added, "just like we all did once." The core shuddered. "Decision required." The voices said, "Return the subject or erase the anomaly. You may not leave until a choice is made." Liam looked around the room, the glass floor cracking beneath them. Energy shaking loose from the walls, systems beginning to collapse. He looked at the being, its face so much like his, but its heart something new. Something scared. Something human. Liam walked up, grabbed the tendril, and ripped it free. The entire chamber exploded in light. The core screamed, 1,000 voices crying out at once, not in rage, but in confusion. Rel grabbed Liam's arm. "What now?" The being reached out and touched the crystal. "Let me show them." Its body absorbed the light. The red and white fused into a new color, soft gold. Warm and alive, the floor stopped shaking. The walls turned clear. The voices fell silent. Then the being looked up. "They're gone." Sari blinked. "Gone where?" "Not destroyed," it said softly. "They're sleeping, waiting, but no longer in control." Rel stepped forward. "So what are you now?" The being smiled. "I'm the seed, a beginning. Not of them, not of you, but of something different." It walked to Liam, looked into his eyes. "You gave me freedom. I won't forget that." Then, like mist in sunlight, it faded, leaving only the soft glow of the crystal behind. Liam stood still, stunned. Sari touched his arm. "You gave it what it wanted. A soul," Rel smirked. "Let's hope it doesn't come back for child support." They laughed. A small laugh, but real. Then the walls of the chamber began to open, revealing a tunnel of light. Liam looked forward. One step at a time. They walked into it, but none of them knew what waited on the other side. Liam stepped into the tunnel of light, shielding his eyes as the brightness grew around him. Sari followed closely, her webbed fingers gently brushing the glowing walls. Rel walked behind them, cautious but alert, her sharp eyes watching for any movement. Nothing attacked. Nothing hunted. Instead, the tunnel felt calm, like breathing in a dream. As they walked, the floor changed beneath their feet, metal giving way to glass, then to soft glowing stone. Strange shapes shimmered in the distance, floating slowly like thoughts with wings. "What is this place?" Rel whispered. Sari answered quietly. It's not part of the ship anymore. It's becoming something new. Liam added. Suddenly, the tunnel opened. They stepped into a massive chamber, as wide as a city. But it was no longer dark, no longer machine. The sky was violet, the floor soft with moss that shimmered underfoot. Trees grew sideways from walls. Water ran upward in glowing rivers. Stars moved across the air like birds, and in the center stood the being, the one they had freed. But now, he was different. Taller, solid. His eyes no longer reflected others. They were his own now, deep golden, full of light and sorrow. You came, he said softly. Liam stepped forward. Where are we? The being looked up at the shifting stars. A seed world. Born inside your ship, grown from what I learned. From all of you. This place is alive, Sari whispered. Yes, the being said. It's me, and it's you, built from your memories, your hopes, and your fears. Rel circled around, scanning the horizon. Are we safe here? No place is perfectly safe, the being replied. But no architect voice speaks here. They sleep now, deep inside. I guard the route. Liam took a breath. What do you want from us now? The being smiled sadly. Nothing. That one word hung heavy in the air. I made my choice, he said. To live, not as a copy, not as an answer, but as something new. You gave me that, and now I offer the same. He held out his hands. Between his palms shimmered 3 glowing spheres. One for each of you, gifts. Liam stepped closer, suspicious. What kind of gifts? The being looked at him with warmth. You, Liam, gave me the courage to choose. Your gift is freedom complete. No AI, no command chain. The system will never bind you again. The sphere floated to Liam's chest and vanished into him. He felt nothing, no pain, but something deep inside. Unlocked. He looked around, confused. I don't feel different. You will, the being said gently. When the time comes. Sari stepped forward next. The being turned to her. You carry a storm of silence inside. You were made to serve, to obey. But you taught me that kindness can be strong too. A new sphere floated to her. Your gift is voice. In your people's code, you are now untouchable. No one may bind you to contract or cast again. Sari gasped. You rewrote my genetic signature? The being nodded. Yes, now your choices are your own. Tears gathered in her glowing eyes. She bowed her head in thanks. Finally, Rel approached, arms crossed. The being smiled. You protected them. You doubted me. That saved them more than once. I don't need a gift, she muttered. Then take a choice, he replied. She raised an eyebrow. The being lifted the last sphere. Return to your world as a soldier, alone. Or stay here, help build something new. A world born from truth, not command. She looked at Liam, then at Sari, then back at the being. I'll stay. The sphere merged into her, and a symbol appeared on her wrist, an ancient shape, glowing softly. Rel stared at it like it might bite her. The being smiled again, but fainter now. I am fading, he said. This world must grow without me, but it will remember. Liam stepped forward quickly. Wait, you're dying? No, the being whispered, just becoming part of something bigger. The light around him began to scatter, piece by piece, like petals in the wind. Thank you for not destroying me. His body dissolved, leaving only the sound of soft wind and rising water. The world shifted. Trees grew taller. Stars slowed. And from far away, the ship's system spoke again, calmer. Now, reboot complete. Organic override accepted. Human priority restored. Sari looked up. The ship is back under human control. Liam nodded slowly. But it's not the same ship anymore. No, Rel said. It's better. And from the edge of The seed world, a new path formed, not of metal or code, but of light, earth, and will. They had crossed into something new, and they had built it together. The path ahead glowed beneath their feet, soft, alive and warm. No more flashing warnings. No more screaming AI voices. The cold metal corridors were gone. This was something new. A world that remembered pain, but chose peace. Liam walked quietly, every step echoing inside him. He wasn't sure if they were still on the ship or somewhere else. Maybe both. Maybe neither. Behind him, Sari moved with light steps, her webbed fingers brushing the golden leaves growing from the walls. She didn't glow anymore because of stress, but from peace. It was real, and it showed. Rel walked silently. Still alert, still sharp, but something had changed in her. She no longer looked like a soldier searching for danger. She looked like someone protecting a dream. At the end of the path, they reached a round platform where the stars spun in slow, graceful circles above. Here, everything paused. Sari spoke first. The architect being is gone, but his work remains. Liam nodded. It's in the air. The walls, even us. Rel stepped forward, pointing at the horizon. Out there, the broken ship still floated, Eden's hope. But now, its design had changed. Curved panels had replaced the sharp ones. Its metal skin shimmered like water in the sun. Life had taken root even inside the hull vines, wrapping quietly around cables, not choking, but coexisting. The ship's alive, Rel said. Not just repaired, reborn, Liam smiled. We're not passengers anymore. We're the builders now. From behind them, the voice of the ship's AI returned. But it sounded different, softer, no longer mechanical. Welcome, Liam. Welcome to Sari. Welcome, Rel. The cycle is over. The new journey begins. Sari looked up. Where are we going? To the nearest star system, the AI replied. Habitable planets detected. But permission is required, Liam blinked. Permission? The eye responded gently. This is no longer a command ship. You are no longer assignments. The architect's will is gone. Only yours remains. Silence followed. Then, Rel stepped forward, her hand resting on the console. Then let's go somewhere we've never been. Liam nodded. Not to conquer, not to claim, but to begin again. Sari added. Together. The ship answered with a soft hum. Engines came alive, not with smoke or fire, but with quiet pulses of golden energy, like heartbeats. As the stars grew brighter above, something unexpected happened. Dozens of other crew members, human and alien, began stepping out from behind the trees. They had survived too. Some had been hiding. Others had been trapped. But now they came forward, their eyes wide with wonder at what the ship had become. A human nurse walked up and gasped. What is this place? Liam smiled. A new kind of home. A small alien child ran forward and touched the glowing path with bare hands, laughing as it lit up beneath her fingers. They had been afraid before of commands, of survival, of each other. But now, something unspoken passed through them all. Hope. Rel turned to Liam. You think this is what the architects wanted all along? Liam shook his head. I think they wanted control, but what we gave them was something they didn't expect. Sari nodded. A soul. The eye spoke one final time. This ship is now a seed. Wherever it lands, life will grow. You are not just survivors. You are the future. Suddenly, panels opened on the far side of the platform, revealing pods, transport shuttles made of wood and light, not metal. They shimmered like flowers unfolding. Liam looked at Rel and Sari. So where do we go? Sari smiled. Anywhere. Rel grinned. As long as it's not backward. One by one, the others stepped into the pods. Not as assigned roles, but as people. Families, friends, survivors. Builders. Liam stood beside the two alien women who were once called his assigned wives. But now they were companions by choice. By bond, not force. They had been thrown together by a broken system. But what they built was something far more human. As Liam placed his hand on the shuttle's console, it responded with warmth. The engine stirred like a heartbeat ready to explore. He looked one last time at the place they had saved. A ship no longer made for war or control, but for planting stars. They lifted off in silence. No music. No orders, just the wind, the stars, and a future no longer written by code, but by courage. And in the quiet between stars, the voice of the architect returned faint, not as a god or ruler, but as a whisper of gratitude. You gave me a beginning. Now go and write the rest.